All right, my friends, and to Eric's point, will she add Tortured Poets Department music to the Eras Tour Part 2?
I mean, the show's got to go longer, or
she's cutting out some songs.
Take some stuff out? Could she do that?
What? All right, well, in any case, you're going to tell us if you win this trip. So she's got Indianapolis, New Orleans, and Miami in the fall, and you and your bestie could win one of the 3 trips that we've got. The round trip airfare, 2 nights hotel, $500 spending cash, 2 of the hottest tickets on the planet. And here's the national keyword you're going to text right now. The word is woods. Are we out of the woods? Are we? Mm-hmm. Woods. WOODS to 95819. Again, it's
95819.
And that is your way to enter for a chance to win the Taylor Swift Flyaway. Okay, guys, let's get to it. Let's go.
It's Roula and Ryan's Rapid Fire Quiz on 104.1
KRBE. All right, here we go.
Let the games begin.
So we've got 5 contestants on the line. We've got 5 players in the room. We've got a potpourri of trivia questions.
The last 2 weeks, it's been Sam and Ahmad
In the finals.
In the finals?
battling it out in the finals.
Nice.
Sam won 2 weeks ago. Ahmad last week.
Yes.
Now we'll see.
Now, I have listened to the complaints. I'm trying to make sure everybody's opinion is, fairly represented.
Okay.
The common theme I'm getting is I want more pop culture, more entertainment questions, so you shall get those.
Oh, look at you.
Can I guess the order since Ahmad is staying next to you?
It's you.
Sam, Kevin, Eric, me,
No,
Ahmad.
it's you.
No, you.
Because
You
Ahmad
start.
won.
I say
He goes
I bet it'd be Roula.
Right. So
Eric,
you,
Kev,
Eric.
Sam.
Oh, he's
Kev,
going
Sam.
that way. He's just
Yeah.
skipping.
I always
always does.
go
Goes this way.
clockwise.
He
so
never
it's-
goes this way.
No, 'cause it's
Never.
confusing. 'cause
He
I'm
would
trying to-
never, ever.
Okay, Ro, Eric,
Sorry.
Kev,
Sam and then Ahmad.
Had a lot of
Ahmad.
coffee this morning.
Okay, so Irma is playing along with Eric. Cassie's got me. Shell's got Special K. Melanie's got Sam. Frank's got Ahmad.
Let's
Here we
go.
go. Round 1, 75 seconds on the clock. Let's go.
You ready, Rula?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Set the timer. Rula in 3, 2, 1. Rula, which celebrity has hosted SNL the most?
I don't know.
Eric, this Larry David series just ended after 24 years.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Kevin, is a jalapeno pepper a fruit or vegetable?
It's a fruit.
Sam, what country star drunkenly threw a chair and was arrested recently?
Morgan Wallen.
Ahmad, which country put the first man in space?
America.
Rula, in the Disney logo, there is only one lowercase letter. Which is it?
The E?
Eric, at 98 years old, this comedy legend is the oldest person to be Emmy nominated last week.
Bob Newhart.
Kevin, what is the largest island in the world?
Australia.
Sam, what color is Sonic the Hedgehog?
Blue.
Ahmad, what celebrity said she had an entanglement to describe her affair?
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Rule, a large furniture store that started in the Netherlands.
Oh, IKEA.
Eric, North Shore High School is a setting for this Lindsay Lohan comedy.
Mean Girls.
Kevin, the most viewed YouTube video ever has over 14 billion views. What is it?
I like turtles.
Sam, this person has a record 88 Grammy nominations.
Taylor Swift.
Ahmad, in Superman, what newspaper does Clark Kent work
Time.
for?
The Daily Bugle.
No, Planet.
Golly.
All right,
Planet.
so
I'm out.
is it Tom Hanks or Steve Martin?
Alec Baldwin has hosted SNL the most. Let's see.
How many times?
Oh God, I have that somewhere in my notes.
I didn't notice.
It's a 3.
I think it's 17 times. What else was missed? Oh, the Soviet Union was the first person to put a man in space.
Oh.
Dick Van Dyke, at
America.
98 years old, was nominated for an Emmy last week. Greenland is the largest island in the world.
Bigger than
Baby
Australia?
Shark.
I
Baby
was
Shark
looking at
has been viewed 14 billion times. And Beyonce has a record 88
Beyonce.
Grammy nominations.
Come on now.
Superman
Taylor
works
Swift,
for the
come on
Daily
now.
Planet.
Who
Daily
works for the Daily Bugle?
That's Spider-Man.
Oh, damn.
at least you knew that.
Come on.
Hey.
That was
that.
really good.
I started thinking of
So-
Bugle the Chips. I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that sounds
so
good.
I
Your
have
fingers?
a point. Ahmad has a point. Kevin has a point.
Right.
Two of us have
So
to go. So
Eric-
Eric and Sam tied at 2. You pick,
pick-
which
I'll
one of
pick
us
one.
stays.
No, Eric, you can't do this.
I pick Rula's out.
Okay.
Every time. Yeah, I won this game in almost a year because of this.
Now you can pick. You
then,
can pick between Ahmad
Do
and
I pick Ahmad because he won last time?
But I
Or
pulled
do
you
I
to the
pick-
finals last time,
Yeah, you just
baby.
picked
Or
cocky,
do
yeah.
I take Kevin out?
Who's the greater
I just
threat?
made you a song.
Who cares?
That wasn't
your
hard. That
emotion.
wasn't hard.
You could have did that yourself.
Okay, I was told
You were told.
Ahmad goodbye.
I can't believe Ryan told you that.
Sorry.
It's
I guess
okay.
we won't hear a Mom's
didn't-
Burger King song
I
if you
didn't
want.
want to make this decision.
I just want rapid
Some people
fire.
are like, thank
Not
God.
gonna happen. Okay.
no.
So
Okay,
round
so
two. Here we go.
Eric,
Eric would go first because
Special
Amon had the
K,
last question.
Psalm.
Yeah.
60 seconds.
All right.
And yes, you're right, Ryan. It was 17 times for Alec Baldwin since 1990.
That's impressive.
That's good.
Crazy.
Okay,
go.
we start with Eric in 3, 2, 1. Eric, this show started in 2011 and had 19.3 million people watch their finale.
Parks and Rec.
Kevin, what Oscar winner was shockingly eliminated on American Idol?
Jennifer Hudson.
Sam, 500 million people follow this famous athlete on Instagram. Eric, what is the medical term for bad breath?
Halitosis.
Kevin, this animator won a record 22 Oscars.
Matt Groening.
Sam, which chain restaurant serves the bloomin' onion?
Outback. Steakhouse.
Eric, what actor played a superhero 10 times in the Marvel movies?
Iron Man. Wait, what'd you say?
That's not the actor. That's not the actor. Kevin,
wasn't paying
what
attention.
creature is Indiana Jones afraid of in the movies?
Snakes.
Sam, she was just 22 when she released Just Dance in 2008.
Just dancing to me.
Eric, which Kardashian owns a denim brand called Good American?
Time.
Kendall.
No.
I don't know.
Chloe.
There are so many wrong answers. I lost track of anything right. I have no idea what the score is.
I thought
All right.
Outback was the answer.
So-
Outback Steakhouse. You gotta do the whole
Outback
name,
Steakhouse.
Sam.
I was going to give it to her.
I would have gave that to her.
If you want to
You
give it to
should've-
her, you can. You guys can if you want. I don't care.
I was
Eric,
going to give it to
I'm
her, but
so
then I'd be tied with her.
surprised.
Did anybody keep real score? Because I got totally lost all the ding dings, ding dings. I don't know what's
so
happening.
surprised, Eric. You missed your first question. Game of Thrones started in 2011. Had
you just said-
19.3
You
million
threw something
people.
out there. In 2011, his show was on TV.
There's too many
I
words.
know.
What the hell is that?
Who's the
Jennifer
athlete?
Hudson. Yeah,
He got that. Who's
That
the
could be
athlete?
Cristiano Ronaldo has the most followers on Instagram.
Yours could
Oh,
have
I would have said
Well, you
Half a
Messi.
billion people.
Yeah.
Lady
I'm
Gaga
so
does
mad.
Just
You're
Dance.
so-
Thank you.
Sam, come on.
Disney
Lady Gaga.
won 22 Oscars. Robert Downey Jr. played the superhero 10 times.
I wasn't
in the
paying
movie.
attention because I was trying to help. I was thinking about her Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, I was like Outback.
And
Okay.
the letter in
I screwed myself
Disney
by trying to
that's
be
I.
not capitalized is the I.
It's the lowercase I.
so I'm out.
I never noticed that.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Everything else is a cap.
So are we counting Outback?
I say we count Outback.
All right, we'll give it to
I mean,
her.
nobody says
I say-
Outback Steakhouse. They say we're going to
the
Outback.
sign
What do you think,
says
Kevin? Do you think-
Outback
I mean,
Steakhouse.
Austin Butler. I'm just going to say Austin Butler.
I had
I'm with
Outback
Roula.
Steakhouse.
I'm with Roula
Austin
on
Butler.
that.
Oh,
No
okay.
points,
Sorry,
Sam.
Sam.
Sorry.
Okay.
We got to follow the rules.
So,
Keep 'em-
I was hoping to hear
Eric-
your song, but
Kevin.
Okay, who's in it? Eric and
sorry,
Kevin.
Sam.
Sorry, Sam.
How many
you're out.
points did y'all actually get, Eric? I have no idea.
Eric got 1, Kevin got 2.
Yeah, and she
And,
got 0.
and you got
And I got question mark.
Yeah, I give her half a point.
All right, so who's
friends.
first? Who's first?
I don't even
I think
the
Eric
last
was the
to go?
last
Where
one to
are
not
we?
get to answer his question. So I think Kevin's first
Yep.
because you ran out of time.
Yep.
Kevin, Eric.
I don't know.
Kevin.
Sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
We went from
First comes love, then comes marriage. Oh.
baby.
Oh.
What?
Dan, you screwed that
She
up,
jumped
Sam.
right into it.
Then comes marriage.
You gotta
Then
have
comes
she
a
worked out.
baby and a baby carriage.
I don't think they have the parts for that.
Let's go to the finals, shall we?
We start with Kevin. In 3, 2, 1. Kevin, Gwyneth Paltrow called it a conscious uncoupling when she left who?
Chris Martin.
Eric, what had more views on Netflix, Bridgerton or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Kevin, what movie won the first Oscar for Best Animated Film?
A
Dude.
lot of them.
Eric, fans of this actor call themselves Pine Nuts.
Chris Pine.
Kevin, what movie had the tagline, the longer you wait, the harder it gets?
Ryan. Listen.
All right.
Preparation
Eric, what celebrity had to defend the size of her baby's head?
Oh, Paris Hilton.
Kevin, what 90s grunge band had an album cover with a baby floating in a pool?
Nirvana.
Eric, Courtney Cox made her debut in a video by what rock legend?
Bruce Springsteen.
Kevin, the acronym LBD in a fashion magazine stands for what?
Louis Vuittons.
Eric, what animal appears in both the Porsche and Ferrari logo?
The Lion. I don't know.
Kevin, what company made the Game Boy?
Nintendo.
Time.
Ooh, so close. If you got a little black dress, it'd be tied.
Oh, Kevin.
You did it.
Good joke.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
So Shrek won the first Oscar for Best Animated Film in 2001. 40-year-old virgin had the tagline, "The longer you wait, the harder it gets." That was it. Little black dress.
I thought that was preparation.
Oh, and a horse. The horse appears in a Porsche and Ferrari logo.
Y'all, come on. Erica's going to win the championship again. We need to tighten up.
Honey, it's only April. It's only
There's
April.
a lot
We
of
got
time.
time.
It's like the Astros. There's a lot of
You don't wanna
time.
drive,
Get your
girl.
crap together, y'all.
Yes, come on.
That just
on,
means
people.
Ahmad is reminding us that every time there's a chance to eliminate Eric, you eliminate him.
That's what I was saying without saying.
Well, you got to brush up because if you miss one, you know Eric is going to vote you out every time.
I know. I'm
Hell
telling
yeah.
you. I've not been. I don't think I've been.
You haven't been
in
on your
this-
game this last 5 weeks.
I just
Ooh.
get for real.
Let
like
her
8
be,
weeks. I get
okay?
the most random things. Like I don't know.
That Disney one was tough.
That was tough.
I was just like,
However,
ugh.
you
What was the
really,
answer on that?
You really,
I.
The I.
Yeah, the
You
I.
really know your SNL. I thought, wow, she's
I
gonna
know,
get
but
this
usually
one.
they
I
make
mean,
a big deal about the 5-timers club. And I was like, well, who's in it more than 5 times? Steve Martin was in that, Tom Hanks, Justin Timberlake. There's all these people that are in it, but I had no idea Alec Baldwin was already in the teens. Okay, let's go to some fun next because we have a very special guest coming in studio.
I'm excited.
Downstairs right now. I'm going to go get
He
him.
has been in many, many shows.
Mandalorian.
Fear the
Ryan.
That's what I'm excited about.
Fear the Walking He's Dr. Pershing on The
out.
Mandalorian.
Nerd
He
out.
is a Houstonian.
He was in
who
Hunger
moved to
Games.
Hollywood. Hunger Games, Mockingjay.
Fear the
yes.
Walking Dead.
He grew up, his family and my wife's family were best friends. They came over here. His dad and my father-in-law, they both were in the army together.
Oh, wow.
In Iran.
In Iran, and he brought him over here. They lived in A-Leaf. They grew up here. He's a diehard Rockets fan. He's like, I need to meet Tillman Fertitta so I can get tickets. He loves the Rockets, even though he's lived in L.A. as an actor for 20 years. But I told him, come on up here.
Omid Abtahi. He is so fun.
Such a
and
good
he
guy.
is so smart. And he is just a great guy.
Plus,
We're
he even
gonna-
did Family Guy. He was on the only Family Guy episode that was banned. It never even aired
Never
because
aired.
of what happened in this episode.
He's going to tell us all about that and more coming up next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
104.1. Back to the Roula and Ryan Show.
It's always
I'm
fun
excited.
when we
I'm-
have guests in the studio.
I'm fangirling right now.
So here on the Roula and Ryan Show, we have lots of friends from different walks of life in our personal lives. And one friend that Eric and his wife know happens to be someone real famous. Someone real famous.
He was at my wedding, Roula, when you were there. He was there.
Really? I mean, you were.
Maybe that's where we met then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was drunk.
Is that it?
It must have been it. Yeah.
I was drunk.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, no,
Omid
it's so nice when friends
Abtahi.
come to your wedding.
I know, isn't it nice?
I was
So
there.
nice.
I wasn't at Eric's, but I was at yours.
And I knew him longer.
Omid
I'm a
Abtahi is in the studio. Omid Abtahi is in the studio. Most recently, he's Dr. Pershing on The Mandalorian. He's been on Fear the Walking Dead. He's voiced on The Family Guy. There's a long list of things that Omid has been a part of.
Hunger Games, I forgot.
Hunger
about
Games, was it
Games,
Mockingjay?
yeah. Part
Right?
4, yeah.
Part 4.
There's some partying he did with Jennifer Lawrence. I remember you telling me about that.
Was
So-
that? Oh yeah, that's off-air stories.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't tell that on air?
No. That's a raw feed.
Omid has Houston ties, and you're just basically here on vacation, just visiting family, right?
I am here visiting family and friends, and I also brought my 8-year-old son to show him Houston. We're big Houston Rockets fans, so he was very excited to come here. And I wanted to show him Fame City, Funplex.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I
from
took-
Now,
Italy.
why do you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
show him Fame City specifically?
Why specifically? Because my dad and Eric's father-in-law kind of like built it and like part owned it.
Yeah.
So I grew up, having access to this amazing amusement park, which I was like, when I lived here, I was 7, 8 years old. And so it was just prime.
That was life.
When you see
That
it
was
now.
But he tried
How
to
do
see
you-
it
how do you
last
feel?
night. He tried to go to it. But
What
I
happened?
tried to go to it last night, but it was closed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. I built this up for my son Miles, and we show up, and the gates were closed.
Oh, my God.
It
That's
was
like
the
National Lampoon's
It was
Vacation.
like the chocolate factory in Willy Wonka. It was the gates were closed.
You went to
and-
Wally World and they weren't
Yeah.
there construction.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it just
yeah.
like a random
no.
Wednesday or Tuesday they're off? I mean, what's the schedule? Why are they
I
closed?
think Mondays and Tuesdays they're closed. I
Okay,
don't know.
well-
he went to
I
Nassau
misread it.
yesterday.
We went to Nassau. I took him to my elementary school.
Which was which one?
It was called Alexander.
Okay.
And it's just, I don't know if you guys have done this in your life, but when you're kids, like, I remember the field was went on forever.
Yeah.
And the stage was huge, and I looked at it and it was tiny, and I was like,
Man.
It was such a cool experience, and my son could care less for any of it because he has no ties to it. But
How do you make the leap from that world to Los Angeles to being this very in-demand actor?
Well, we went to California because of my parents. I mean, I was 8 years old when we left, so I had nothing to do with that decision.
Your dad got a job there.
My dad got a job there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was an advertising major in college, and then kind of like was coasting through college, and it was easy. And then I had to take an arts for non-major class, and so I took acting, and then kind of the bug hit, and then 9/11 changed stuff for people of my skin color, you know?
Right.
Like before 9/11, I was like Greek, I was Spanish, I was like Indian, I was Italian, I was all these things. And then after 9/11, they're like, oh, you're Middle Eastern. And I'm like, and so there was just a lot of stories to be told. And that's when I graduated in 2002. And I
So you started getting more roles because of 9/11.
Yes, unfortunately.
What was the first? Was it 24?
24 was my
that the first-
second job.
So I've
Yeah.
ever seen you on
I
24.
love
What was
that
your
show.
first job ever? That.
My
wow.
first job was a show called Jag.
Oh yeah, I remember Jag.
Oh yeah, that one guy.
Yes.
That,
What was your role on Jag?
I was a mujahideen.
So you're always playing a terrorist, basically.
I mean, they tried me as the terrorist. I became like the PSA for like brown. That not all brown people are terrorists. Like, I'm the
Okay.
nice guy. Like in 24, I
Okay.
was the nice guy. Like,
Okay.
see, they're not
Nice
all
guy.
terrorists. That's
Oh
me.
wow.
I'm just glad to see that you're alive and well after being, thrown off a roof in Galveston in Fear the Walking Dead.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Austin. But yeah,
That was Austin?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
yeah,
Austin.
yeah.
No, I didn't fall. You know, we have stunt people to do that stuff. I was enjoying a cocktail.
But you got
not a cocktail.
Cocktail,
I was having a coffee.
Eric hasn't seen it yet, but you did turn. You got to be a walker.
I did. That was awesome. That was like going to Disneyland and getting the Mickey ears. You know, it was part of the whole experience. You know.
So
It was-
when did it go from when did it really take off for you, Omid? By the way, let me reintroduce you because some people are just tuning in. We're talking to one of Eric and his wife's family friends, Omid Abtahi. That's how we know him, but you know him as all these different characters from all these different
Dr.
movies.
Pershing is the one that.
Because he's had his entire career now
In
as an adult,
Mandalorian.
right? How old were you when you got your first role in Jag?
I was
Like 20s?
20.
Like most of your
3,
adult life now,
yeah.
that's your job. You're an actor.
Yeah, this is what I've been doing for
This is
20
what you
years
do.
now. Yeah.
So it goes from Jag, then it goes to this show. What's like the big moment that you're like, oh my God, I got this major role. It's going to be like the one that turns me around.
You know, it's an interesting question because like it's happened a couple times and it doesn't always work out that way. You know, you're like, oh, this is it. This is my moment. And it doesn't turn out to be. So I'm very much like, I'm not a celebrity. I'm a working actor, recognizable to some, but it's more of my story is more of a story of, you know, persistence and hard work and being part of the grind, you know? Like when I'm on a show like American Gods, which was popular for like a season, like
That's Ahmad's favorite over
that's
there.
your favorite?
Yeah, he loves that.
So I loved you on there. It was really, really good.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
super proud of it. Yeah, it's
And
one
you were
of
the
those-
only non-god on the show, right? Or was
Yeah.
everybody a god, but you?
Yeah, I was human.
Yeah, you human.
But I had God in me though.
What is
kidding.
it Netflix? Or where would we find that? Is it Netflix? Where's
that-
American Gods?
It was I don't-
HEB
It was on Stars.
HEB?
HEB?
Stars.
HEB.
HEB. It's in the
has-
grocery store now.
It was HBO?
No, it was Stars.
Oh,
Stars.
Stars, okay.
And Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I don't know where it currently is.
Sure.
But anyways, when you do a show like that or The Mandalorian, and like for a good 6 months, people are like, "Oh, dude, like you're this guy from that. I'm that guy from that."
But
That
getting,
guy
on,
from
getting on a
that.
show like The
That's a good idea.
Mandalorian, that's got to change things because now you'll be able to go to Comic-Cons, all these conventions. You'll be forever.
Is there a figure, like a
or at least a card or
I
something.
Action
do
figure
have
after
a
you?
trading card. I don't have an action
No action figure.
My
Dr.
character's low on action.
Now, your
He's a
character,
scientist, you know.
why does he wear sunglasses?
It's not intended to be sunglasses, but it was there. When I went in for my costume fitting, they had the mock-up, and the character had an imperial outfit, and then he had these glasses that didn't connect in the middle. And when they tried to put that on, it didn't really work in real life because it just fell off.
Let's say. The glasses don't connect.
And they're
in the
like,
middle.
so hey, here's a selection. Just kind of choose what you want. And I just love the retro look.
Now, did you even try out for that role, or did Jon Favreau?
That was one of the
'Cause
few
usually you have to
offers
try
I've
out.
had in my career. And so it kind of, I mean,
So Jon Favreau
And
just said,
what you mean is Jon Favreau told you, hey, I want you to play this guy.
my agent called me No, do you want to know the
Yeah,
story?
tell us.
Yeah.
So I'm in Toronto. I'm working on American Gods. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm fast asleep. And then I get this call from my agent at 1 a.m. And I'm like, this is either really like good news or this is really bad news.
Yeah.
It's one of the two
To
extremes.
wake you up,
And I pick up my phone. I'm like, hello. My agent's like, Untitled Jon Favreau project. Blah, 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 blah. I couldn't understand what he was saying because I was fast asleep. I was like, hey, just repeat that one more time. He's like, blah, 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 blah. Untitled Jon Favreau project. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm Googling it with one eye open. And I'm like, is this like a Star Wars like TV show for like some kind of Disney streaming platform that hasn't... He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Like, they want me to audition for it? He's like, no. They're offering it to you.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, for sure, I'm dreaming right now. I'm like,
Were you a Star Wars
I'm
fan?
asleep.
I wasn't a huge fan. I'm a huge Jon Favreau fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the Jon Favreau part that really got me. I've been a fan of his from the beginning, you know?
Swingers.
Swing. Yeah, that was like the Bible to Welcome to Hollywood, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and so like I was like, call me up in the morning. This doesn't feel real, and we'll see tomorrow. And it was one of the I've been offered 5 things in my entire career, and that's one of them.
And how long have you now been on The Mandalorian?
So I've been on all 3 seasons.
Okay.
So
And there's one specific episode about your character, Dr. Pershing, because I don't watch it, so I don't know what your
And that
character
was
does.
same.
That was
Think
a
about
great
it.
I'm sorry,
episode.
there's a lot
People
of
love
things.
it because they like the Baby Yoda, Grogu.
Yeah.
Grogu or
Grogu.
something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I saw the first season or second season. I'm like, man, they could do something with your character because it's something about Dr. Pershing. And you text me, go, just say this text, Eric. And then I'm like, oh, something's gonna happen.
Something's going on.
And then what happened?
So in season 3, they gave pretty much my character an entire episode to himself, you know, which was, some people loved it, some people did not like it.
That was a
you
great
know?
episode.
I was really proud of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying so.
What did John say when he told you you're going to be the star of this whole episode? There's going to be no Mandalorian. He's going to be on the last 2 minutes.
He basically put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, we're taking a big risk, right? And I was like, thank you. That makes me feel so confident.
Okay, so we're talking to Omid Abtahi. He is, we're talking about his role of Dr. Pershing in The Mandalorian, but off the air, we were saying this to you, Omid, and earlier in the show, we were talking about origins of names and stuff, and people have had difficult names, like my name is Roula. Nobody ever knew that name when I was a kid. In Hollywood or in entertainment, they constantly want to change your name to something that's, people can understand that. So did you ever get
Omid
presented with... what is your name? Omid Abtahi? What, can we change that? Did anybody ever try or convince you to change your name?
No. Professionally, no. My agents were very accepting of me. There was like, I fit a niche, I was talking about the niche and like the category I fit in. So
Right.
They were okay with that. I had one on my first job on JAG, which we were talking about earlier. The other Iranian actor on the show was like, hey, Omid, hey, come here. I was like, yeah. He's like, you know what you should change your name to? I was like, I should change my name? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, what should I change my name to? He's like, Persian. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, you should change your name to Persian. Just one word. And I was
Here's
like,
the one word guy.
the worst advice you could possibly give
He's
anybody.
doing that on purpose to try and screw with you because you're
I
taking
think he
his
was trying to
jobs.
derail my career.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Hi, I'm Persian.
Now, before you came in here, Eric had built this up and teased that you're on Family Guy. You're on the only episode that has ever been banned that was never aired. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, no,
And the experience, too, because Kevin loves the voices and stuff.
We love
Oh yeah. So that's what I was a huge fan of, like that
Family
show.
Guy, Seth MacFarlane.
And so I think originally I did like one episode that was like a quick scene, and then they asked me to come back and do like this bigger scene, which pretty much I was like Peter's best friend for an entire episode.
Are you reading with Seth?
Yeah, it's like me in the booth and Seth in the other side of the the window, and he's doing like literally every voice on the show, not just the ones he does on the show, but like everybody else's too.
Oh, wow.
So that y'all can get that recorded, and then the other actors would come in and fill in the blanks?
I guess so, yeah.
Was he doing their voices? Or
He was
was
doing
just...
other people's voices, yeah. Other actors' voices.
Wow.
And it's just me with my one generic Middle Eastern accent. Feeling so inadequate.
How did it sound, your character?
Hey, Peter! But so what's crazy is like in the episode, I'm like this terrorist who's trying to like get Peter to join my sleeper cell. And then we're trying to get him to blow up like the Boston Bridge at the Boston Marathon.
This is before the actual bombing
Before the
happens.
the bombing. This is one of those crazy like Simpsons, Family Guys type
That predicted the future.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? This is not the first time this has happened.
No, it actually happened in the X-Files spinoff, The Lone Gunmen, where they were flying planes into the World Trade Center. That happened 1 month before it actually happened.
When did yours happen?
crazy.
When did yours happen?
When I don't know. It must have happened before it came out.
few
So
weeks?
within the like a year or so, and then they're like, "Oh, we can't air this episode now."
because of the
Yeah.
terrible tragedy.
And I was like, "Whoa,
No, there goes your residuals.
my luck."
Yeah.
But you know what? They eventually, after like a couple years went by, they aired it. So it's available. You can watch it. It's called The Turban Cowboy.
Turban Cowboy.
Were there times, Omid, that you would get frustrated or flustered? Like maybe you wanted to do something outside of playing the terrorist or playing the Middle Eastern guy, and that's all you were being offered? Or do you feel like it's been pretty versatile? Like if you went for something, they actually considered it? Because we hear that a lot in Hollywood. Like, I don't want to be, cornered into this
Just typecast.
typecast all the time of the same guy.
You know what? Like, for the most part, Hollywood is. I've had a good experience with Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like they try really hard to kind of break the molds and like not to box you in. And I have, agents who are very good about like, hey, pushing. Hey, I'm going to be brown no matter what I do. Like, I show up on screen. They're like, that guy's obviously he's brown. But yeah, no, I've had, and then that's what I love about Star Wars is like. I'm not Middle Eastern because there's no Middle East in Star Wars.
Yeah, you're just
Not on Earth.
Character.
Yeah. So for the most part, I think Hollywood's definitely heading in the right direction. Yes, sometimes you get like, hey, my agents are like, hey, so do you speak Arabic or Farsi? Like 20 years later, I'm like, you guys, I speak Farsi. For 20 years, I've been telling you this.
They just don't. They don't.
So you don't speak Arabic? No.
They don't know it's a difference. I think it's all
And
the
then
same.
the question is, well, is it kind of the same? Like, can we make it kind of the same?
Could you say a few words to make it sound like? Arabic?
Yeah, no, that
They'll
was
say
just,
that.
can you try? And I'm like, I can barely speak Farsi well, So.
When we come back, I want to hear some more stories about some of these shows, maybe some shows that aren't out yet. How frustrating it must be as an actor to
work
have
so
something
hard on something.
already taped
then-
in the can, and you're like, when is this coming out?
Or like I always think of Vince Vaughn. He was telling all of his friends he was in Rudy. He's like, I'm the big star, co-star, and then they cut him down to like he was barely
Nothing.
in it. So then he learned. He's like, I don't tell anybody that I'm in the movie until it comes out because I don't know
How much they're going
what
to
gets cut.
100%.
Omid Abtahi, he's live in studio. We'll have more with him next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Back to Roula and Ryan.
All right, we are continuing our conversation with Omid Abtahi. He is an actor who started out in Houston, actually, when he moved here from Iran. Houston was home for a few years before he moved on to California for his dad's job. And now you know him as Dr. Pershing in The Mandalorian. You've seen him in Fear of the Walking Dead. You've heard his voice in different things. He's a voice actor. He's a theatrical actor.
Chances are you've seen him in something.
Hunger Games.
He's been in so many
As Omid
programs.
said, I'm that guy that's in that thing.
I was watching Shameless one day. I'm like, what the? He's in the back seat with William H. Macy going
Yeah.
to Canada or something.
Okay, and regarding
what the
that,
Oh,
Omid,
God, that was you
Were
and
you-
Shameless.
I'm like, I keep waiting to watch when I
That
watch
is
Curb. I keep
so
waiting for you to show up on Curb Your Enthusiasm somehow.
Omid, working with all these people that are names that people recognize, like Pedro Pascal, Jon Favreau, William H. Macy, how realistic is it that you would actually have maybe a friendship with somebody you met on a movie set or a TV show set that y'all kind of clicked and became friendly? Or is it all just business as usual, and when the project is over, y'all just...
It's like camp. When
you're
you're
like, oh,
done,
I
you
worked with
leave.
him one time.
It's a good question because, especially when you're a part of a show that goes for multiple seasons, like, for example, American Gods was 3 seasons, you're like, oh, we want to be each other's lives forever, and we genuinely love each other, and we are friends, but then you go on to make different families on different shows. And so I find the people I generally have kept touch with are usually the people who are in my category. Because I see them at auditions, when we used to audition in person. Like, it's a lot of the same people I see over and over again, and it goes beyond being part of a show.
That's interesting you said that. Are all auditions now Zoom?
It's just self-tape. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just tape.
Zoom
You
if
just
you're
send
lucky.
it in.
Yeah.
If you get Zoom, then
Okay.
you know it's really good. Because you're
Yeah.
talking to
Or
them.
they're
But
interested.
acting on Zoom is weird. You know, like you're acting with a monitor. It's not. That's not what I trained to do. You know, I trained to like be in a room with somebody.
But the world has
Yeah.
changed so much, and you have to adapt.
You have to adapt. I mean, I have no choice. I'm still a good auditioner, but I just prefer to be in the room.
person.
Who's a celebrity that you're like, wow, I cannot believe I'm working with this person? Has there ever been like one of those moments you're like, oh my God, I'm in a scene with so and so?
It was the first movie I did was called. Well, you know what? Hunger Games. I mean, like Woody Harrelson. I mean, like I grew up like loving A White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, sorry.
Cheers a little bit before my time. And I had like one scene with him, and I could barely get my lines straight. Like
You're just staring at him.
that's what my mind was like. Woody Harrelson.
Did he smell like weed?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that whole set might have smelled like weed from what I heard.
I show up at 5 a.m. Base camp is like, woo.
And to that point, are there any actors that, they're names that we know, but they don't get the accolades like some of the big guys, and you've worked with them, you're like, man, this person is underestimated. Like anybody that you work with that we just don't know how really amazing they are.
For sure. And I'm trying to see if a name pops up for me, but absolutely. There are people, it's usually the people who are like, like under-recognized that are the most talented.
It's the ones that are on top, like someone said I loved you in NCIS, that episode.
Oh, wow.
Really meant a lot.
Yeah.
Who's that? Was it Steve Harmon or
Mark Harmon?
Mark Harmon?
Yeah, I didn't work with Mark Harmon.
Like that guy, like you
Yeah.
think he's a good actor, then you meet him, and maybe he sucks, or he has to have a phone to read his lines.
First of all, I will never say any actor sucks, but you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I've worked with actors who have worked with a teleprompter, like next to my head.
Isn't that kind of phoning it in?
No, it's just some people have a hard time with memorization.
Memorizing.
Yeah.
Like it worked. Like I don't judge anybody. Everybody has a different method.
Is it weird though? Because you think they're
It is weird.
talking to you, but they're reading behind your head.
What's people can't see it on the radio, but like I had this scene. I won't say his name, but like he patted me in a chokehold, and he's like, "Listen to me," and then he would look at the teleprompter, and then he would come back and he'd be like, "I'm gonna kick your butt, and I'm gonna find your family," and then he would look at the teleprompter. And I'm gonna destroy everybody.
Oh my
that sounds like
God.
Keith
And
Sutherland. That sounds from 24.
I was like, and then he would read the teleprompter, and I would kind of relax. And then he would come back, and I was like, like,
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Now,
That is really
one of the
funny.
things I wanted to say about you is I'm blown away by your versatility. I've been trying to get Eric to watch this show. Rula, I
watched
think
first two
you'd like it
episodes. I
too.
gotta keep-
It's called City on Fire. It's on Apple TV, and Apple doesn't have a huge selection, but what they do have is solid quality
They
programming.
don't waste their time with fluff. It's all
And you are a detective in that. And I mean, I loved that show. Your performance
What's it
was
about?
fantastic.
It's by the people
City
from
on Fire?
Gossip Girl too, right? The Gossip
it's
Girl?
by the creators of Gossip Girl. Yeah, it's one of those crime whodunit dramas, that takes place in New York.
And it's a family, a very corrupt family.
Was it no? Right after 9/11.
Okay.
It's like Succession type, like corrupt family, like, and they're
And they left it open-ended for a second season. Are we going to get a second season?
no, unfortunately, no.
Oh.
No, it's a really
Or does he want to just say that to throw us off?
No, genuinely no. We've been told our contracts have been let go. And we shot that 2 years ago, and it came out last year.
Is that difficult when you really are in love with something and then all of a sudden it's over?
Yeah, it's hard. What's hard is like, especially if you work on a high concept show like The Mandalorian or this other show that I can't talk about that will be airing soon.
But
Like,
when
you
it
have
is,
to-
I'll be talking about this one.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's
You
a
have
big
to
one.
you have to wait like a year and a half for this thing to come out, and you're like,
Have you been in that position, though, Omid, where you waited a year and a half and then something happened with the studio and they're like, you know what? We're just not going to release that. Sorry. What happens then?
God, I haven't had to deal with that.
Okay.
Think about that Batgirl movie.
Yeah, Batgirl.
They just destroyed it. They're like, nope. It's
All that work you've done and you're thinking you're going to get paid. Because you got paid, I guess, for the original work, but then if you
But
had
no
like
one sees it,
residuals
and
and,
then
nobody saw
like,
it.
you want to be a hot actor where everyone sees it, loves it, and then they hire you for more stuff.
Yeah, no, I know. I've had friends who've been on shows that, like, for Netflix that never saw the light of day, and they spent a year of their life shooting it and a year of their life waiting for it, and it's heartrbreaking for us.
Yeah.
Especially, go ahead.
I gotta say, I mean, you really are proving the point that you've had a very good a good experience in Hollywood, because most of the times there is some darkness somewhere. Like when I was first coming up, it was terrible, and I had to do this.
He's also more mature because you're like in your 20s. But you were like a teenager.
I
when
was,
you
yeah.
were a man.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the background,
You take
when we were
advantage
in the
of.
break, Omid and I were talking, and he said that he started in a casting agency. That was one of your jobs, and that helped you learn how to audition. So that's a whole different angle. That's pretty cool.
That was the best education I ever got. You know, I learned how to act in college, but then I learned about the business of Hollywood and the art of auditioning, which is very different than the art of acting. It's not very different, but it's there's a difference.
To catch their eye, you have to do certain things.
You do. You have to do certain things, and you have to not do certain things.
So you learn the tips and the tricks
So
of
it's
what
not
you're
that annoys
looking
you.
for
You
in an
could
audition.
actually teach.
Yeah.
You could teach.
I've done it before.
I mean, like, oh my God,
TED Talk.
I want my daughter to talk to you.
Yeah, you
She's
can make
in
some
Los
money.
Angeles right now.
You can make $1,000
struggling
right
actress.
now.
More than, yeah.
I'm his agent. $2,000, Ryan.
More than
You get 1 hour.
No, I do that stuff for free. No,
Omid, I have to give you your props for American Gods. Ryan was talking about your versatility. Normally, I feel like queer characters on TV, they kind of just throw them in there to like, okay, gay people need somebody to see on TV. But yours was really fleshed out. As a straight man, how do you approach something like that?
It's a good question. I approach it like I approach every role, and that's like with honesty. And so I have people in my life who, in our extended family who are, gay, and like it's hard. Sometimes it's in conflict, especially with that character who's also Muslim, and sometimes your sexuality can be in conflict with your religion, and when I first heard about that role, I desperately wanted to play it. And I can't take the credit for that character because a lot of it has to do with the writing.
Right.
And like Brian Fuller and Michael Green, who wrote that show, and Neil Gaiman, who wrote the book that the show is based on, they did a lot of the heavy lifting. And it felt like Cinderella, where like the shoe fit.
Nice.
And even though I am a straight man, like when I opened my mouth as that character, I wasn't me anymore,
You were the character.
I was the
amazing.
character.
Yeah. And I really loved how like you were around all these gods, but in one of the final scenes, you still got down to pray. Like that was really, that was interesting. It was a good show.
I'm tearing up right now.
Yeah.
I love that character so much because he had to accept who he was, like fully and completely, and that was the beauty of that show and that character.
To research that character, did you talk to that family members that happened to be gay?
I don't have to. No, I didn't necessarily talk. What I had to do is learn more about the religion. That was the part of it that I wasn't as familiar with. So I had to learn how to pray. I had to.
You didn't want to do that wrong. You got to make sure.
Absolutely, there's a
offend.
delicacy to both sides of it. Like and
It could be dangerous because if you play it wrong, you could
People are going to
really make
you can play it
two
right.
sides really
Do you have
bad.
to worry about something like, well, there's gay actors. Well, why are you casting a straight man in this role when there's a perfectly fine gay actor that could play the part?
Yeah, there's validity to that, but like I didn't become an actor to play myself. Like I became an actor because I love experiencing life through different lenses.
Well, yeah, think about that. Every actor
that's
we've ever
amazing.
seen win an Academy Award is winning for being something completely different than who they really are.
Unless you're De Niro.
If you're just tuning in,
Pacino or one
somebody
of
said I
these
just
guys
tuned
that
in.
just
Yeah,
themselves.
exactly. Right. What's this actor's name? I just tuned in. Who are y'all talking to? This sounds fun. It's Omid Abtahi. He has done a lot of different work in a lot of different shows. The one that we were focusing on more was The Mandalorian, Dr. Pershing. He was in Fear the Walking Dead, as Ahmad just talked about.
And
He was in American Gods.
Do you think you're going to come back in the Mandalorian world? Do they ever like give you like a nod or anything? Or is it one of those things? Once whatever happened to you at the end of that episode, you get up, cut. All right, you go, bye guys, or do they ever say
See you later, friends.
see you soon?
The worst part of the job is
You don't know.
Don't know. Am I giving a goodbye hug, or is it I'll see you later? Is it a goodbye?
Did they ever
won't-
call you like, okay, what are you
face.
doing from July till like September? Like, because they got to know like to book
They
things.
do, but they give you like a month or two in advance.
Have they even started filming a new season?
I don't know if they are going to film a new season.
Oh, wow.
I heard they might do a movie.
They're doing a movie.
a Mandalorian movie.
Yeah.
Fluffiest question of the day for
Yeah.
you, Omid. Who's
Yeah.
the most famous person in your cell phone contacts? Is it Jon Favreau? Like, who is it? Who's the most famous person in your cell phone contacts?
It was Jennifer Lawrence, but
The restraining order
I
came
think it
in.
was a burner phone. Like, I think it was like one of those phones because we shot in like France and Germany, so we all had different numbers than our American numbers.
So
Okay.
But
it was
you became
cool
good
for you to
friends
have
with her,
the
though,
French
right?
cell phone
I
number.
was like,
not-
huh?
Was she really cool?
She was awesome. So I was a huge fan of her. Yeah, as a person, as an actor. So that whole movie was an amazing experience.
the franchise.
And that's a blockbuster movie. That set has to be insane. The craft services alone has to
No,
be
it was always good. Joe's have good food on sets.
We don't get anything in radio.
What set had the worst food for you? You were so shocked. Come on. Mandalorian? What is this buffet?
Well, I bet Jon Favreau had good
Cold
stuff.
cuts.
Cold
Lunch
cuts.
meat.
Sushi.
Yeah. Wait, what? Did you ask me a question in there?
No.
We're joking about,
You know, it's
from
interesting.
one set to the next and how high end it is. Because it's blockbuster movies, you imagine it like steps up everything.
Yeah.
Versus like some small thing. Okay, we got a vending machine over here. There might be a Keurig, but
Well, you
fun
don't
with
always
that.
have that, Roula. Like, you shot in some exotic locations. Like, what's the most just far out there place that you've actually filmed something?
Like outside of Paris, like I loved Istanbul. I shot Argo there. You know that movie?
Oh,
that's a great movie.
Oh, yeah, you did with Ben
Yeah,
Affleck.
yeah. Huh?
I forgot Ben Affleck.
With Ben Affleck, yeah.
What's your character name in Argo?
What's his name?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
10 years ago. Reza
Yeah.
Borhani.
It won the
Borhani?
He took him
Oscar.
he had to show them around.
I showed him around in the bazaar. I was like their guide. Yeah.
Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah.
Do you put that on your resume? I was in the Academy Award-winning movie Argo.
Sure, but it's like deep down.
Yeah. Well, that's so
Ben
nice that you hung out with us today. Omid Abtahi.
Thank you
It's
so much.
Abtahi.
and the most
If you
important
want to look him up,
question is, did you
O-M-I-D.
get any rockets gear when you're...
No, I haven't been able. I went to Academy in Galveston, and they didn't have the size for my son.
Tillman, if you're listening.
There's one not too far from here, too.
You guys, I'm
But he's got to leave and head to the airport a little
Yeah, he's
more.
going to the
Rockets
airport.
fan.
And they changed the logo, and they still have the R with the rocket, but now they've got like the spaceman who's jumping.
They got a cool one with the Oiler
dumpster
colors.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows it all. He watches
I know
all the
everything.
The next time you're
That's my
back
family.
here, we got to get him to meet like Tillman.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta just
That's
give him
what we're
let's take
gonna
him to a game. We'll just take you to a game.
I would
when the season
explode.
gets going again.
That's
I know,
my
it's so fun.
fandom.
Is it?
We'll get you to wear the Persian glasses and do a free throw because they do that for celebrity free throw.
You're going to make
I
him
will.
wear
I'm
his
there.
Mandalorian costume.
Shoot a free throw.
I'll drain it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, Omid, it was so nice to meet you. Thank
Very
you so
nice
much
to
for
meet
coming
you.
by our
Thank
show. I
you.
know it was early, but you got
Another
your
one from
reflective
A-Leaf.
match.
A-Leaf, you guys are
Yeah,
getting a
there's
lot of...
something in the water there.
Wow, A-Leaf, yes. If you want people to follow you on social, people want to know how they can follow you or see some of your work. What's your...
I'm only active on Twitter X, and it's just I think it's just my name, Omid Abtahi.
Yeah, OMID ABTAHI.
Yeah.
Omid Abtahi. So nice to meet you. Tell Miles we said hi, and we'll see you next time.
All right, I hope to
All
see
right.
you guys
It's a
soon.
pleasure.
Go Rockets.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Okay, coming up next, if you missed what happened on Closure today, it was college friends who broke apart and were trying to reunite, and it was really messy.
It got a little
It was
stalkerish.
really messy. You got to hear what happened next on the